All right, let's get right into it. We're going to break down the primal biology of charisma. By the end of this, you're going to understand the actual science of influence and, even better, how you can start using it, like today.
You know that feeling, right? You walk into a room, a meeting, a party, and you just know. Before anyone even says a word, you can feel who holds the power. It's this gut feeling, an energy you just pick up on. But what if I told you that gut feeling, it's not magic, it's pure biology? You know, we've all heard it, right? That charisma is just something you're born with. You either have it or you don't. Well, science is here to tell you that's just flat out wrong. See, charisma isn't a personality trait. It's a biological signaling system. It's a set of skills that you can absolutely learn and master to change how people react to your very presence. So how does this actually work? Well, to get it, we need to look at the two fundamental ways humans try to gain influence. In any social group, from the playground all the way to the boardroom, we instinctively use one of two strategies to gain social rank and get ahead.
Okay, so those two strategies, they're called prestige and dominance. And it's really simple when you think about it. Prestige is when people give you rank. They grant it to you. Dominance is when you take it for yourself. And even though both can get you to the top, they are running on completely different biological software in your brain.
Okay, let's dig into prestige first. This is all about earning influence through genuine respect. Basically, people look at you and they grant you status because you've got skills, you've got expertise, you're helping the group out so others naturally want to copy you. You become a role model. This is the strategy that really, really works in stable, long-term groups where cooperation is everything.
And then you've got the other side of the coin, the dominance path. Now, this is our ancient software. Think of it as our primal wiring. Rank here is taken, not given, usually through coercion and a subtle sense of fear. It's an instinct we share with other primates, and it's all about projecting power so that nobody even thinks about challenging you.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how do you actually signal these things in the real world? Well, it all comes down to your physical toolkit. Let's break down these specific nonverbal cues, the stuff you do without even thinking about it, that broadcast high social rank. All right, so if you're going for prestige, that earned, respected vibe, the science points to three really specific moves. First, a little head tilts up. This physically opens you up, it signals you're listening. Second, a real symmetrical smile. That's a universal sign of warmth and trust. And third, a subtle expansion of your chest. Not puffing it out, just showing you're calm and confident. It's all about inviting people in. Now, what about dominance? Well, you basically flip the script. Instead of tilting your head up, you tilt it down. It's that classic looking at someone from under your bra move, super intimidating. You drop the smile entirely. That signals, hey, I'm not here to be your friend. And finally, you take up what researchers call grandiose space. You spread out, you make yourself physically bigger. The message is loud and clear. I am not afraid. Bring on the challenge.
And if you want a perfect picture of this, just think about a silverback gorilla. Scientists who've studied them say a dominant male can literally stop a fight in his troop with just a single look. He doesn't have to roar, he doesn't have to beat his chest. His sheer physical presence, his bodily expansion, his biology does all the talking for him.
But look, it's not all about body language. Your voice. Your voice is arguably one of the most powerful biological tools you have for projecting status. Sometimes how you say something matters way more than what you're actually saying. And the vocal cues for leadership, they're actually super simple. A lower vocal pitch, that's biologically hardwired in us to signal confidence and authority. And the pace you speak at, slow and measured, tells everyone you're in control. But if you rush your words, you're basically shouting, I'm nervous, I'm low status, I'm afraid you're going to interrupt me.
Okay, but here's the thing. You can get all these external signals right, the body language, the voice, and it'll all fall apart if you don't master what's going on inside your own head. Real, lasting influence isn't about faking it. It comes from winning the battle that's happening inside your own brain.
So let's pop the hood and look at the two main players up there. You've got your prefrontal cortex. Think of this as the calm, rational CEO of your brain. And then you've got your amygdala. That's your ancient hair-trigger fear center. When the pressure's on, these two parts literally go to war with each other. The amygdala screams, react, while the CEO says, hold on, let's think. So, what separates truly effective leaders? They have a really, really strong CEO.
Their prefrontal cortex stays in charge, which means they can dial down that screaming emotional response from the amygdala. That's literally the source of impulse control. It's the biological secret to staying calm and thinking clearly when everyone else is losing their minds. And this right here brings us to what might be the ultimate display of real power. It's the ability to not react. Think about it. In conversations, people throw out little social tests all the time, right? A sarcastic comment, a little passive-aggressive jab. The moment you choose not to take the bait, not to react, you completely break the social script. And that kind of self-mastery is so rare, it immediately puts you in a position of authority. Which leads us perfectly into our final and maybe most powerful tool, using silence. It's a simple rule of thumb for any conversation. The person who is most comfortable with silence usually has the advantage. Okay, let's make this super practical. We're going to call this the power pause. And all you have to remember is one little number, 3. That's it, 3 seconds. 3 seconds of strategic silence before you answer a question. It can change the entire dynamic of a conversation. Okay, so why is this simple little pause so powerful? What's the psychology here? Well, for one, it signals you're not just blurting something out, you're actually thinking. It makes your answer sound more thoughtful and credible. Second, it gives the other person's brain a moment to catch up. And finally, it just flat out increases your perceived authority. You seem unhurried. You seem confident. You seem like you're in complete control. All right, let's wrap this all up and put it into a simple action plan so you can put all of this primal biology to work for you. Like starting immediately. Okay, 2 super simple, super effective hacks. First, use people's names. When you say someone's name, it's like a biological trigger in their brain. It creates an instant flash of connection and makes them pay attention. And second, just before a big meeting, if you're feeling nervous, go find an empty office and do a power pose for a minute. Stand tall, take up space. It sounds crazy, but changing your physiology literally changes your psychology. And I really want to be clear about this. This is not a guide on how to be a bully or a jerk. True social dominance, the kind that lasts, isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. It's about getting a handle on the primal, biological signals you're constantly sending out. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. It's super simple. In your very next conversation, could be at work, could be at home, when someone asks you a question, before you say a single word, I want you to take one full, quiet breath and wait 3 seconds. Then answer. Just try it and see what happens. And that really leaves us with one last big question to chew on. See, when you start to master this stuff, this internal world, these external signals, you naturally stop performing for other people's approval. So the question is, if you stop performing for them, who do you actually become?